Welcome to the Connected Health Podcast, a show that helps you reconnect with your body, your health, and your habits from a whole person sustainable and science-backed lens. I'm your host, Vanessa Cohn, integrative health practitioner and founder of Connected Habits Coaching, and I'm here to help you build a healthier, more empowered life by aligning your habits with the best of your body's biology. Let's dive in. Today, we are talking about foundational health habits. These are the foundation, the basis, the pillars that you will build your healthy habits on. Everybody needs a set of these to live their best and healthiest lives. And I'm going to dive into each of the foundations so that you can start creating your healthy habits around them today. The goal of the foundations is to look at the whole person and everybody's needs from a physical, biological, emotional standpoint, so that those needs are taken care of through healthy habits. These are the first steps that you can take towards building healthy habits, which when connected, build a healthy life. The bottom line is, if you don't like where you are in life, what you're currently doing is not working. This is where we have to start making foundational changes to change the trajectory of where you're going. I won't be the first to admit that change is difficult. I personally dislike change and am resistant to it, especially in situations where I find things are working. But when you're in a situation where things are not working, change must be invited in. There is a book by Maxwell Maltz called Psycho-Cybernetics. This man was a plastic surgeon who helped men and women that believed that once they changed their physical appearance, their lives would be so much better. Maybe if I got a facelift, added some hair to my hairline, I would be happier. But after the surgery, the people found that they were still unhappy because even though the outside appearance changed for them, they still held the internal limiting beliefs that kept them in this cycle of unhappiness. This is why the first foundation that I want to teach you is working on your mindset, your internal world, because that is where everything starts. I've explained in past episodes that what you believe and what you have internalized really determines the outcome of the choices that you're going to make, based on the beliefs that you have about yourself and about the world. These are essentially mental roadblocks, and once you overcome them and start replacing them with more positive beliefs, that's where change really starts to come from the inside out. Here's another important point. Nobody can do this work except for you. In the last episode, I talked about how people don't like to take personal responsibility. Again, I want to reiterate that. The only person who can do this is you. If you want to change your life, you are in the driver's seat. Don't outsource the decisions or don't blame other people for your decisions. This starts with you, and yes, it is possible. So let's get into the first pillar, which is mindset. You have to start with the mindset that health is for you. Health is possible for you. Let's dive into that even a little bit deeper. Put on that positive mindset that health is possible for you, that you are deserving of it, and you are worthy. You are worthy of what you want out of life. Don't ever give up on your dreams. They are possible. Your beliefs shape your outcomes because you make your decisions and you act based on what your beliefs are. It is trained in you, which means beliefs can be replaced when you train new ones in. If you believe health is too hard for you to obtain, you're right. Whatever you believe in, you're right about it. Because of confirmation bias, what you already believe deep inside will cause you to see the world around you to confirm that bias that you already have. When you start to practice over and over and over again, changing your limiting beliefs, things will start to shift for you. This is where it starts, changing your mindset, opening up the possibilities that are available to you. And maybe right now, not every possibility is available, but there is more out there than you currently think. And as you go and chase thing after thing, more and more possibilities will be available for you. It never ends. Practice setting your goals, visualizing them, create a vision board if you have to. I recommend writing them down. Go back to them every so often. Create affirmations that will help you to remember and rehearse the new beliefs that you're trying to make and make that a habit. Changing your mindset is a habit. It will get easier. With that as your first foundational habit, let's move into the next one, which is nutrition. I would recommend just start with one, and as you nail that down, start adding another and another. Once you've built your set of foundational habits that are unique and specific to you, you're in a good spot. The habits around your nutrition will shape the way that you eat, will shape the way that your body uses the nutrients that you put into it, and will shape how you look, your energy levels, and so much more. Nutrition is foundational. Here is habit number 1 that you can form around nutrition, and that is having 3 balanced meals a day. What does that mean? Most of us in the Western world are pretty good at getting 3 meals a day. In fact, if we don't, some people think, oh my goodness, I'm starving. I only ate once today. And while that is subjective, let's talk about what a balanced plate actually looks like. Your balanced plate is going to be about 25% of a protein-heavy food, about 50% fibrous vegetables, and 25% carbohydrates. And fat is a macronutrient, and that will fit in there because it's usually a part of the cooking oils that you use. Maybe it's a part of the salad dressing, or it's used in preparing the protein or the carbohydrate source. So fats are in there, even though you don't necessarily see them on the plate with that breakdown. But that's what a balanced plate looks like. That's one habit that you can start. The next one, once you've got that one down, you can aim to hit 100 plus grams of protein in your diet per day. The average person has 3 meals and maybe 1 snack a day. So if you break that down, you could aim for 30 grams of protein per meal and 10 or so grams in your snack to hit that protein goal every single day. Another habit that you can start when it comes to nutrition is eating 5 different colors of the rainbow of whole foods each day. This can be coming from your fruits and your vegetables. Things like sweet potatoes and tomatoes have those red and orange colors that have certain nutrients that relate to your eye health. They've got fiber. Leafy greens are your vegetables, also high in fiber as well as micronutrients like vitamin C and iron found in kale and spinach. Aim to hit 5 different colors of the rainbow when you are building your plate each day. This is how we nail down nutrition and know you don't have to count every single calorie that you eat. In fact, I'd rather you didn't and focus on these 3 things. 3 balanced meals of protein, fats, carbs, and vegetables, eating 5 colors of the rainbow every day, and getting 100 plus grams of protein each day. The next foundational pillar I want to teach you about is exercise and movement. This is a part of having a healthy body, and you need to have some sort of habitual routine of exercise to maintain health as a person. Now, it doesn't really matter what you decide to do for your movement. Some people like to dance. Some people like to lift weights. Some people like to walk. Everybody is starting at a different spot. So my recommendation is do what you can and aim to do that at least 5 days a week. You want 5 days a week of 30 to 45 minutes of intentional movement. Let me give you an example. Walking is movement, but slowly, leisurely walking around the park is not enough for most people to get enough exercise that they need. Ankle or wrist weights with you when you're walking in the park, and you can power walk with them. If you have trouble trying to figure out what kind of exercise you want to do, there's countless YouTube channels with exercise instructors that lead workouts. You have community centers locally that you can go to and take a class led by an instructor. You can hire a personal trainer, either in person or virtually. And even more, you can find some workouts that people have put together on Pinterest. There are so many options that people have when it comes to movement that it really doesn't take much. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need a home gym. You can do a lot of work with even just your body weight. To narrow down those recommendations, you want to add some resistance training at least a couple times a week so that you can build healthy bones and muscle. And we don't exercise just for exercise's sake. There's actually a benefit when it comes to blood circulation, moving your lymph through your lymphatic system when your body moves. When you sweat, you get rid of excess toxins. It boosts your mood and it boosts your metabolism as well. Pillar number 4, we're going to talk about rest and stress reduction. I don't want to confuse this with sleep. Rest and stress reduction are activities that you do while you're awake that bring calmness and rest to your body. It's important to be awake and yet calm in mind and body. The daily stressors of life, especially chronic stress, is really bad for the health. It can age people faster. It can cause an increase of the release of cortisol. It can cause issues with hormone production, energy balance, and deep sleep. Chronic stress can affect your thyroids, which affect your adrenal glands, which affect so many processes in your body and can lead to chronic disease like high blood pressure, cardiovascular issues, and more. Rest and stress reduction-based activities can look like journaling, getting out the chaos of what is in your mind out onto paper. You know how it feels really good after you vent to a friend? It's the same thing. You're putting it all out on paper, getting it out of your mind. Maybe you need to read it out loud and get it out of your mouth as well, just so what you're thinking can get out in the world in a healthy way. Some people prefer restful activities like reading, knitting. This is where hobbies can come in, especially the restful hobbies. Some people find creativity restful. If you are a writer or a musician, or you like to create things in any way with your hands, that is also restful. Spending time with loved ones, petting an animal, also very restful and stress-reducing activities. Plan things in your day. It's a part of your healthy habits to put time aside on your calendar, daily or weekly, to care for your nervous system. Other stress-reducing activities can include gentle walking, gentle yoga, meditation, laughter, gentle massage, float therapy, even scheduling downtime. All of these are options that you can choose from to include in your stress reduction and rest routine. Pick a few that you particularly like and get rest from, and repeat them on a weekly basis so that you can bring your overall stress levels down, start to feel calmer and healthier. Let's talk about sleep and how that's different from resting and stress reduction. You can still sleep and be stuck in fight or flight mode. This can cause things like insomnia and other forms of restless sleep. And that's why the rest and stress reduction activities help to bring your body into a gentle rest and digestive state, bringing you to calm. Here's something fascinating. Your cortisol in a healthy body is supposed to rise as the sun rises, and it falls as the sun sets. Your cortisol is a stress hormone. It gets you up out of bed, but the decreasing levels of it help calm you down and prepare for sleep. You may have heard of the hormone melatonin. It is related to sleep, but it does have other functions in the body. Melatonin is supposed to raise at night and lower in the morning so that you are restful in the evening when you sleep and you are able to be awake and alert throughout the day. In modern times, these hormones and our sleep rhythms get out of whack from crazy work schedules, feeling so activated and in fight or flight all the time that it's hard for us to rest. Living this way for years and years at a time is really difficult. Rest is so important because when we're sleeping, our bodies repair. Things get stored into long-term memory. And if you're tired all the time, that's a problem. Here are some sleep tips that I want to give you for deeper and restful sleep. If you want deeper sleep, I recommend shutting off all screens, phones, televisions, computers about an hour before bed. Another habit that you can have is to create an evening calming routine. That can be anything from getting ready for bed to getting in bed and maybe cracking open a book to read. Or if you have a different calming routine, like 5 minutes of breath work or some sort of meditation. Maybe you want to do gentle stretches paired with deep breathing to get into that rest state before you go to bed. The best way to reset your sleep schedule is to take your desired time of wake and sleeping and where you're at currently and set it 15 minutes every day so that you can start gradually over the course of a few days, start to wake up 15 minutes earlier, and then the next day, 15 minutes earlier than that, until you're at the times that you want to be. Another foundational sleep habit that I'm going to give you is to stop eating 3 hours before bed. Sometimes sleep is disrupted because your body is still digesting food if you get too much food right before you sleep. I'm going to give you one more sleep habit that you can start to incorporate, and that is turning down the thermostat in your bedroom to 68 or 69 degrees because our bodies prefer cooler temperatures to get deeper sleep. And deeper sleep is where all the rest and repair comes, and it's important for our bodies to spend time in there. If you have a device that tracks your sleep, you want to get at least 90 minutes of REM sleep and 2 hours of deep sleep. The next foundational pillar that we are going to start creating habits around is your emotional health. I feel like this is something a lot of personal trainers and health coaches miss, is the emotional component. And no, it's not just because we're females, but emotions are important for men and women. Let me teach you something that you might not know. Emotions, as well as everything in this universe, carries some sort of frequency. A frequency is a vibrational level at which something exists. Matter of any kind will vibrate at a certain frequency. So you can't necessarily see or touch an emotion, but it does have a vibrational frequency that it exists at. And higher vibrational frequencies are things like love and enlightenment. And lower frequencies are things like hate, anger, jealousy. And what those frequencies do is they can bring our bodies up or they can bring our bodies down. You know how people use the term good vibes or setting good vibes or good vibes only? That's referring to healthy emotional frequency vibrations. Positive, high frequencies affect the body positively, and lower frequencies affect the body negatively. Think about it. Like breeds like. If you're going to continue to feel anger, it's going to hit you day after day, and you will be stuck in a cycle of anger. Whereas if you were to focus your emotional frequency on something higher like love, love spreads and begets more love. Higher frequencies like joy and peace and gratitude all promote positive feelings as well as healing in the body. If you want to read more, there is a psychologist known by the name Barbara Fredrickson who has done some studies on this. If you really like numbers, I suggest you look at the HeartMath Institute. They actually look at biofeedback, things like blood pressure, heart rate, and other measurements, and their relation to positive emotions or negative emotions. It's actually quite fascinating. In fact, the creator of the graph of the frequencies of these emotions is named Dr. David Hawkins. If you find yourself in constant negative emotions or a negative emotion cycle, do some gratitude journaling as well as shifting your mindset. But that can only get you so far. Maybe you need to seek the help of a professional licensed counselor or therapist to help you raise your frequency. And it is okay to ask for help. There is no shame in that. I also want to say that lower frequency emotions are not necessarily bad. It's not that you don't want to feel those things. Sometimes you feel a certain way and you have to feel that emotion fully and then let it go. Move on with your life. But holding on to negativity, negative vibes, negative emotions is not going to help you get the life that you want to get. They have their place. You can hold and feel them for a while, but you have to ultimately let that go. The last foundational habit that I'm going to share with you today is about toxin removal or detox. In the last episode, we talked about the bucket analogy, which our bodies are like buckets. They get filled with a certain toxic load when we're born, but throughout life and through experience and choices that we make, more and more toxins can fill up the bucket until it overflows and we have health problem after health problem. The goal is to add a foundational habit of emptying that bucket every now and then and starting to take things out so that it doesn't overflow. And one of the systems that does that is our immune system. We have to support our immune system fighting the bad guys, the germs, the illness, the cancers by putting into our bodies healthy foods and getting rid of toxic things. Another system that does this is the liver. The liver is a huge detoxification organ, specifically affected by detoxifying alcohol that we hear about a lot, but it also detoxifies the things that we eat, things that we put onto our skin, and the kidneys are the detox filter of the blood. Things that get into our bloodstream are filtered by the kidney as well as the liver. So these are the parts of our body that work internally to help keep us safe and healthy and to empty that bucket. But sometimes they start to lose function as we age, or they get overburdened and can't do their job as effectively. The purpose of including a detoxification ritual or habit is to help our systems do their job effectively. If we pump in our systems alcohol on a daily or weekly basis, are they able to keep us safe and healthy? No. We have to undo some of that in order for the organs and the organ systems to work at their best. So here are some habits that you can look for or start to promote in your body. And the first foundational one is making sure you are eliminating bowel movements daily, at least once a day. 1 to 3 looks pretty ideal. And as for what the stool looks like, there is a tool called the Bristol stool chart. You can Google it, and it has images of the different types of stool that can come out of your body. And it points out types that are healthy and indicators of healthy waste. That's the goal. Anything outside of that, you might need to change your diet, change your lifestyle, get some help from a health practitioner to help fix your elimination. Healthy poop is one of the big signs of a healthy body and a healthy detox system. So start there. Another habit that you can build is to slowly go through the products in your home, your personal care products, things like perfume, deodorant, laundry detergent, soaps, makeup, if you use that, and start to switch them out for lesser toxic products. There are thousands upon thousands of chemicals that are put into these as ingredients. Some of them are not meant to be ingested and maybe not even put into the body at all. So it would be best for us to take them out of our rotation and start to use something else that works just as well and is less toxic to the body. Here's a tip for that. You can download the Environmental Working Group app and you can scan a barcode and it'll give you a report of the breakdown of the ingredients and a scale where green is good, yellow is concerning, and red is absolutely bad. It'll give you a breakdown of what's in your home. Start to switch those out with lower toxin brands. Because the immune system and the liver do such a really good job of taking care of our bodies, we want to support those systems. Most of our immune system is in the gut, and we want to support the healthy gut bacteria so that they can get rid of sickness for us. Unfortunately, things like antibiotics will wipe out both good and bad bacteria, so it's important to reseed the gut with healthy bacteria through probiotics, especially after a course of antibiotics. When the gut is supported, the immune system can fight back better and stronger. You can support the liver by doing things like a quarterly functional medicine detox, parasite cleanse, and other such detox to support that. Now, starting small with supporting the liver could include things like drinking teas that support liver health, like milk thistle tea, dandelion root tea, or a blend of what's called a detox tea, where they have multiple types of herbs. That's the most gentle way that you can support the liver. You could also include liver support foods like broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower to get you started. There's a lot of detoxes out there that sound great, but they don't always do what you need them to do. So please ask your trusted local health practitioner to help you choose a detox or even to determine if you're ready for that step. So now you have a set of powerful foundations to build on. I mentioned a lot in this episode. You do not have to start doing every single thing that I listed, but for each of the foundational pillars, pick one thing and work at it slowly. Once you think you've got it down, you can start to add more. But wherever you start is your set of foundational habits, and these working together will help to detox your body, help you lose weight, make you stronger, give you more energy, and give you better sleep. This is not a quick fix. In fact, nothing that I listed was a quick fix. Nothing that I listed was taking a quick pill and all your problems would be solved. All of the things that I listed actually take effort. It takes effort to change your habits, to change your choices, to change your mindset, and then your entire lifestyle. Just a little bit of effort done every day is still progress. And this is how I do things. Start making small changes, build them up until they become habitual and you don't have to think about it. Add more habits until you've built a sustainable lifestyle for you. Maybe some of the things that I offer today aren't sustainable for you right now. Maybe you need to work on some smaller steps first, and that's okay. Do what you can right now. But I want to remind you that you are responsible for the change in your health. You are responsible for the choices that you make. And I believe that you can do it and you can be successful. You deserve this. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in to the Connected Health Podcast. If today's episode was helpful to you and you think you can share it with a friend or a family member who's trying to build a healthier lifestyle, please go ahead and do so. There's a lot of practical steps in here that anybody can take today. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Connected Habits Coaching and join our Facebook community, Connected Habits, a community for holistic and sustainable health. Until next time, take care of you. Your health is in your hands.